everyone, and welcome to a bonus edition of Best Buddy Reads. We just literally completed the podcast on the wonderful and fabulous Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. And that is available now for reading, listening, pleasure. Also, the book is available for reading. And in that podcast, you'd have heard us say that we were getting straight into book number 2 because we were invested, guys. We were invested. And so we are coming back with a rapid fire bonus edition to just make sure that we close out the duet, which is for Keeping 13. So Binding 13, numero uno, Keeping 13, numero deux. It's funny when you get the actual books.
They're quite thick.
They're so thick.
They're
And
so
like
thick.
the writing's tiny, so it's not like
Because
when
I
got these,
feel
was
like I don't feel like I noticed that they were like 700-page books when I was reading them in ebook format. But that's a lot of tree right there.
that's a lot. Like that's chunky monkey stuff right there. So yeah, when I got them, I was like, geez Louise, they did not feel that thick because I just
devoured.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it took me probably a bit longer than the average, but not
But I didn't notice, yeah.
No, I wasn't like, oh, there's so much left of this book.
Exactly.
And spoiler alert, in the second one, I was like, no, there's so little left of the book. No. So yeah, we're back, Shani. Almost like within a week, we're back. We've read the second.
Literally within a week. Well, less than a week.
Yeah, less than a week. So
less than a week.
We've read the second book. We now have the full story end to end. Where we left off in book 1, there was the pretty horrible cliffhanger, which was that unfortunately the female main character, Shannon, had been pretty brutally assaulted by her father in the kitchen, and her brother was making her mother choose between him and the family. And that is pretty much exactly where we pick back up in book 2. There was no going back or
no
trying
gap
to
whatsoever.
No, there was no like trying to like explain what happened in the first book. She just has 100% assumed you've already read it. And can I just say to Miss Chloe Walsh, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. Because it is one of my absolute bugbears when you pick up the second book and they try and give you a couple of chapters or more of here's what happened in book 1 without saying here's what happened in book 1.
Really? Do you know what? And that's why I like a previously on bit, because if you have like a summary at the beginning of this is exactly what happened in book 1 to refresh your memory, if you are going straight from book 1 to book 2, you can skip that bit. Whereas when it's written into the chapters, you're like, okay, I know, I've literally just read it.
Yeah, exactly. So yes, thank you very much, Chloe Walsh, for just getting straight into, the action, if you want to call it that. We left book 1 on a 4.5-star rating for both of us. We did say that it was a potential 5-er, but we were a bit struggling at the beginning just to kind of with the first sort of third to a half. Shani, give it to me straight. How was book 2?
It was good. It was really good. But I have more niggles or bigger niggles with this book than I did the first. I still loved it. I'm not saying I didn't. But I have bigger niggles with certain things in this one than I did in the first. And you're nodding, so I feel like you agree.
I do, I agree. I've got probably some of the early niggles of book 1 got exacerbated a little bit in this one, I'd say, or grew.
Yeah.
Again, though, I absolutely loved these 2 books. And I just think they're like such brilliant reading. Really got sucked in. I think I liken them to Twilight in that there's no paranormal or anything like that, but the way you got really sucked into those characters and just like so desperately wanted for a happy ending for them. Yeah, loved it. But yes, Nick definitely got a few little niggly niggles.
Niggles. Yep.
Well, let's start with the niggles, um,
Okay.
and then let's finish on what still remained really positive, and then we'll move on to scores. We'll be rapid fire today. So,
Rapid.
Shani, niggle number 1, hit us.
Niggle number one. Oh, see, I've kind of written this. I've had to write it down because you know my memory, and I've written this sort of out of order. So okay, one of it's like really quite near the end. So I'm just going to start there because that's what I've written first.
Okay.
Um, the fire. It was a horrible, traumatic, dramatic, huge thing, but it felt so out of character for her dad because her dad to me came across as a very self-centered, misogynistic, you do as I say, I'm the man of the house, you're all worthless, me kind of guy. So why would he ever want to sacrifice himself? Just, I struggled with that. I struggled with that a lot. I just couldn't reconcile it with his character. It didn't feel right for me. I was expecting him to do something horrendous, but I thought it was going to be him trying to force his way back into the house and like force his way back into her mum's life and like all that kind of stuff. Maybe even finding her outside of school when she was alone and like traumatize her there. But I just didn't see that coming because it's not something I would have expected from the kind of person that he came across as. So that was a really big niggle for me. I don't know how you felt about that.
I actually really liked that. I felt like it pushed his character full circle, which is that his entire world was defined by what he did in that household and his power in that household because they talk a lot about well, she talks a lot about how he has basically like nothing else. He goes out
Yeah.
drinking, gambling. He doesn't have a job. It sounded like he didn't really have like a friend group either, that it was just he was a bit of a floater. And so I think for me, my view there was he got pushed out. He was told he had to be on his own. He wasn't allowed to go near them. He lost all control and power. And when that happens, is the end result, is the end kind of reality that he then has to destroy them completely and himself. Like the other thing I liked about the fire is such a cathartic thing. And so the fact that the house went up, the parents went
Yeah.
up, all of the memories and the history, like, it got cleansed in the fire, if that makes any sense. So, I
Yeah, it's
actually
like a fresh
like
slate thing.
yeah, and, because it was unexpected, like, I was with you, I thought he was gonna come back and do something like, I thought he was gonna kill someone, and he would
Yeah.
end up getting arrested, and it would be something like that, whether it was the mother or and I knew it wasn't Joey because there's another book. I was like,
And it
"Ugh."
couldn't have been Shannon either, because that would have sucked.
But yeah, I liked that it was unexpected. Those niggles about and this goes back to we talked in the last one about our privilege, our safety
Yeah.
privilege,
Yeah.
because I was just like, "What are you doing, mate? Like, call the guard. There's a restraining order on this guy. Call the
Yeah.
police." Like,
Yeah.
the police are the ones that should be you know, here, and I know they didn't know what he was gonna do and but it was like, yeah, my safety privilege, I kept having to check that. But then also the niggle
Yeah.
there was Johnny has that, so call the police, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was a
I
yeah, that
yeah.
was a niggle. That whole kind of hero storyline thing, I wasn't a huge fan of that.
I so I didn't have issue with the actual fire itself. Like you say, it was kind of like a real fresh slate thing for them all. The bad memories, the house, the parents. It was just the fact that I couldn't reconcile it with his character. And additional to how I perceived him previously is that he did the whole rehab thing and that everyone was like, he's obviously got friends in high places. They've told him to do this. He's playing the game. And I'm like, why was he playing the game if he was just going to kill himself and his whole family? Like, what was the point of
Yeah.
that? So that's where I was coming from really with
Yeah.
it. But I do completely agree that in itself, the fire was a total fresh slate situation for the kids. It was devastating. And actually, that one, well, not even just that one chapter, a little bit before that, but that was the only time that I really felt for their mom as well. Like up to that point, I'd been hating her, hating her. And when you had that flashback of the dad, like sexually assaulting her and the fact that she saved her children, but by the same token, she wasn't going to do anything to save them if Johnny hadn't like suddenly appeared on the landing with them. She wasn't going to get them out herself.
No.
So still, like it broke my heart that she, that she died with him. But still, she never would have done anything off her own bat.
Yeah. And there's a lot of stuff that went through my head that was like, you're in a kitchen, there's knives, there's bottles on the table, like you've got weapons around you. And I get that she's, traumatized. And like, I think Chloe Walsh does a really great job of really writing her as this incredibly broken human being.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, when she looks at Johnny and she's like, just save my children, like just take
yeah,
them. My heart broke for her, but for a moment. And then I
yeah,
was like, you brought this on. Like,
yeah.
this is your
I was
doing.
more sad for her kids
Yeah.
because as much as they kind of hated her, that she was still their mum.
Yeah,
And
totally.
like, we knew that it was going to break them because they'd feel so conflicted about it as well. And then like, they're going to feel guilty for ever having hated her and all that stuff. So yes, my heart broke for her and I was proud that she sacrificed herself for the children, but she never would have done anything about it to save them otherwise.
No, I agree.
And it was
Totally
only
agree.
because Johnny was there to get them
Yeah.
out. And
Yeah.
like, yeah,
And I think
yeah,
that she is probably one of the most, like, she's probably a character that could do with her own book. I'm going to sneeze again.
bless you.
That's Do you
Bless.
know what I mean? Like, to go back and actually, and not that I would actually want to read it, because even just that
Yeah,
back to what the dad,
yeah,
because I know there was an allusion to that. I think Darren
yeah.
says,
Earlier on, when like they were really little or something,
and also
there was
Darren
something.
says, what would you do if you'd have been beaten and raped in your own
Yeah,
home for the last
yeah,
X amount of years? And I was like, raped? Like, where'd that come from? And then they do the flashback and you're like, ah, I see.
yeah. That's not good.
It's beyond not good. It's horrific. Yeah, yeah. What else you got? What else niggles you got, Shani?
Hang on, hang on, hang on. Have you got any? I need to
Yeah,
get this.
so my niggle is is a random one. Um, so my niggle is that as a 16-year-old, I did not have the opportunity to have the amount of sex that these two had. And I'm like, I love Johnny's parents, like,
Love
and
them so much.
I love them, but I'm like, open your eyes, guys. Like, what are you doing? Like, and then the thing that really annoyed me was when he comes back from playing and they go and they find like a random alcove at the beach and have sex in
Bitch.
it. I was
Yeah.
like, number one, rank. You're going to have like sand up your coochie. So that's like disgusting to start with. Number two, like they very quickly move on to like, oh, we don't need any condoms because I'm on the pill now.
'Cause of-
And so my niggle is it went way too quickly from meek, quiet, like
yeah,
virgin
let's take it
girl
slow. Yeah.
to sex siren. And I was like, and also I don't remember sex being this good. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's just
With
a
a
few little,
teenage boy. No, it wasn't.
And I know he's been around the traps a bit, but, like, I don't know, I just felt like their sexual relationship just went from, like, quite an honest and authentic view all the straight away to, like, what I would perceive to be a very adult sexual relationship. When you're 16, 17, 18, you're still overthinking everything. Every single sexual interaction that you have, it's going round and round and round in your head for days and days after, and you're talking to your girlfriends and, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like
Yeah.
she just went from yeah, it was too
It
quick.
it did
You know what I
go
mean?
very yeah, I see exactly what you mean, yeah. It did go from she was terrified to even, like, kiss him first, to suddenly she's, like, dragging him into an alcove and being all, "Drop trow, mate, come on. Let's have a quick
Yeah,
go in the sand."
yeah. But that
Yeah.
annoyed me because I was like, "Oh, I thought this was quite good and it was authentic," and I think young people, if they read this book, would relate a lot to what like, the first book, the way that it was kind of portrayed in the first book. The second book, though, I was like, I want to put a big disclaimer. That is not like, if you're someone who has sex for the first time and then spends the next 2 years just hyper fixated on, like, "Are you doing it right? Is this right? What about this?" Like, ho just the fact that there was even, like, a conversation about what she wanted sexually, I was like, "What the was I delayed?" Or, like, 'cause that's not my experience.
No, it wasn't my experience either.
No, and there are a lot of, like, hey, Shani, is this normal?"
Is this right?
Yeah.
Is this right? Is this right?"
So that was a niggle, but that's a silly niggle, but I just felt like there
No,
was
I
just
get it.
that it just went a little bit cliché or, like, standard romance on me, and I was like, "Mm."
Yeah, yeah. I get that. I get that. So, my niggle in book one, and I think both of us had this niggle, is that Bella goes from just your standard mean girl to a raging psychopath stalker with zero comeuppance. Zero comeuppance. She is still a raging psychopath stalker in this book, gets into a physical fight, and there was going to be no comeuppance. There was going to be no, what's the word I'm looking for?
On
Repercussions
repercussions, yeah.
for it. She was gonna be suspended for 2, 3 days. That's just basically a few days off school. It's a holiday. It's like teenage kids aren't upset by missing a couple of days of school. What's no skin off her nose? She was gonna be suspended for a couple of days, and that was it. I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? And even when Johnny's dad had to step in and had to make it a bigger repercussion for her,
Yeah.
for me, it still wasn't enough.
I think actually in book 2, I coulda just done without Bella, to be honest with you. I
Yeah,
coulda
she
just
wasn't needed anymore.
no, I think she
Like,
could've moved on. But
so that was my niggle.
here's what I think is absolute freaking genius about Chloe Walsh. The next books that we've just so the next book is Joey. We know just enough about Joey to be so intrigued and interested about his background, what like, he's obviously we find out in this book he's got he's got a drug addiction, and that's been kind of building for a while. He's obviously been the protector of the family, so we know enough now that we're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be picking that book up because I
Pretty
need to."
invested.
And
Yeah.
also, I need to know how he goes and how he and Aoife are and, like, what that
Yeah.
relationship happens. Genius. Then we've obviously got Gibbsy, who we all absolutely love, but again, we know enough to be highly intrigued. So we are gonna read that book. Probably mostly just because it's Gibbsy and we love him. And the same with Lizzie. She's got us, like, "But why is it? What happened in
Yeah.
that?"
Why
Like,
are you like this?
so we're
And
now like,
possibly in
"Oh,
the next few as yeah, I'm hoping that the next few books as well, especially in Gibbsy's, we see more of Lizzie in like trying to turn herself around maybe in a more positive light. And we learn a bit more about her, and then it makes us even more intrigued
yeah,
to read her book and
yeah,
whoever she ends up with. She's got to be one of the rugby guys, right? I'm assuming.
yeah, Pierce."
Is it what was his surname? Here's what.
I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah, so I wasn't a massive fan of Lizzie, but I am super intrigued. So I would probably read her book because I'm intrigued to know about that incident in a
Yeah.
bit more detail. And obviously there's a family
Link.
dislike there. So
Yeah.
Phew!
Bless you.
There's there's something going on with the families there as well, and that's a very Irish thing. So I'm very intrigued by that.
Very intrigued. And
Sure.
yeah, I think those were my main, what do you call it? Niggles. I do have one genuine question though.
Yeah.
Are they in Ireland? Is there genuinely an option to skip fourth year? And why?
Not sure. Must be.
That just seems bizarre because, like, what if so many people opt to skip fourth year that you've got double the people in fifth year and nobody in fourth year? I just find that mental.
I don't know. I'll ask my cousin.
Yeah, bizarre. Unless it's something they did back in 2005 and they don't do now because it has been that situation where there's like no one in fourth year.
I honestly don't know. I will ask my cousin then and see what she
Yeah,
says.
just found that was just genuine, like, huh, really? One of those moments.
Yeah.
We didn't have that option. Not that I would have been allowed to take it, but
Yeah. No, I don't know. I'll ask.
anyway. But yeah, I think that was
Well,
it for my niggles. Did you have any more?
not really. I think our niggles were pretty similar. My only other niggle was and it's really it's really it keeps coming up in my brain when and it's like it's living rent free. So her mother had a sister
Yeah. Yeah.
the whole
Where was
time.
she all this time?
Like, you show up to mourn your sister and you seem like a decent human being, like you seem like a nice person. Where the hell have you been? Like, your
Where
sister's
have
been
you
getting
been?
abused by this man. He's been abusing her children to the point that one of her children has like a serious drug addiction. The other one is basically like been malnourished slash like has an
The
eating
police
disorder
have
from
been
it.
involved. They've got a restraining order against the dad. Like,
And where are you?
even before then, when the mum gave them up to foster care when they were little, where was she then?
Exactly. This is my the minute they were like, "And my mum's sister," I was like, "Excuse me?"
Come
Like,
out the woodwork from
where have
literally
you
nowhere.
and you're now showing up to mourn her, but you weren't there when her kids were getting, like, absolutely pummeled. Nah. Don't like it. Don't like you.
No,
Off
it
you go.
just
And you've
didn't
got a
like
husband.
what was the point of her? What was the point of her? She didn't need to exist.
It would have been so much more powerful if it literally was just those
Just them.
children sat
Yeah.
on that bench
Yeah.
with
With their friends.
their friends and with Johnny's parents. Like,
With
I
the
think that would have
Cavanaughs,
been
yeah.
quite a powerful image in my
Yeah.
mind. And then on the other side is his family wailing and being upset and all that kind of stuff and disregarding the fact that he was a monster. I
Yeah.
think that would have been really powerful, but instead I spent the whole time being like, "Where'd you come from?" Hmm?
Yeah. She'd not even been mentioned up to this point. And anytime they were like, oh, we don't have any family, we've got Granny, who's like 81. That's they've mentioned Granny a few times, but this aunt, I'm sorry. Where did you come from? Completely out the woodwork for no reason. Yeah, no, I didn't like that either. I forgot about that.
So that's my only other niggle, but that's more of a what a
I
bitch. Like,
get it. Yeah.
me.
Why?
Let's move on to rapid fire. You get to choose 3 things that are like god tier best, like the best parts of this book. Can you guess what mine are?
I think I know two of them on your part. In which case, do you want to go first?
I was gonna say, so in book 1 and continued into book 2, it was the man of the match, the absolute MVP, the greatest character ever written, Gibbsy. Just what a legend.
Just Gibbsy.
He was just I just want to be his friend. I want to hang out with him. Everything he did and said was just hilarious. The fact that he got so territorial about that fort.
Yeah.
He's actually
We'll
like
build a bigger
crying,
treehouse.
crying, laughing when he was like, "We'll take it back. We'll take it back." It's like, you're an 18-year-old man, like, you idiot. He was just God's gift to literature. I just love him so much. The next and following very close second was Mr. Tighe, who, 11 or 12-year-old boy was written to absolute sheer perfection by Chloe Walsh. Oh, no tissues for you. He was funny. He was clearly really messed up, but he was young enough that it hadn't permanently tainted him. But you could see the cracks in his brokenness getting fixed, but he still retained that like really authentic little thug of a kid mentality, which I absolutely like. I just adored.
I liked his little like rivalry with Gibbsy as well. Like kept calling him fatty and like, I'm after your woman, Gibbsy, watch your back.
But even just the fact that he'd call Gibbsy fat, and then Gibbsy would, instead of being like, "Oh, shut up, mate," he'd be like, "I'm not fat. It's muscle I train." It's like
I'm gonna take my shirt off. Look.
Yeah. They kept having this amazing banter, and it's like, Gibbs, you're 18 and you're arguing with an 11-year-old, like
11-year-old boy. I love it.
And then the last one was Joey.
Yeah.
I think the first book, I think Joey was, he was a really interesting character. I think in this book, he was someone that I became quite emotionally attached to him, and to the fact that he's carried the weight of the world on his shoulders for such a long time. And when at the end of this book, when he's there at Toman in his Toman uniform, and you kind of go, oh my God, this is it. It's a fresh start. He can actually yeah. So those are my 3 absolutely favorite parts of this book. Like, obviously love Johnny and Shannon and that whole story, but yeah. Those 3 were they just enriched it for me. Loved it. What about you, Shani?
So obviously I'm with you on Gibbsy. He must be protected at all costs.
All costs.
At all costs. Like, I don't actually give a shit what happens to anyone else, as long as Gibbsy's okay. Must be protected at all costs. He had the most amusing everything. All the funniest moments had Gibbsy involved. The you know when Johnny finally manages to have a wank and Gibbsy lies on his bed and he's like, that's the wet spot. He's like, you ejaculated on me. Why did she do? Get it off. Get it off.
The fact that
I could genuinely picture it.
I was actually laughing out loud, and then when his mum comes in and he's like, he ejaculated on me, she's like, take your clothes
Johnny,
off.
don't be doing that. Johnny, don't be ejaculating
and when
on your
she's
friend.
like, I don't know if I've missed something about like modern teenage boys and if this is a thing now, but he's like,
yeah, I found Gibbsy so funny. And like, when they were at the airport, you know, saying goodbye to Johnny and he's about to go off to South Africa, when he was like, the first person was bawling their eyes out, I thought it was going to be his mom. And when it was Gibbsy, I was like, oh, that's even better. That's even better. That's so good.
It's going to be Shannon. And I was like, oh, this is a bit dramatic.
Yeah. I think it was written to make you think it was Shannon. And I was like, that's why I was like, it's going to be his mum, because like we're supposed to think it's Shannon and then it's going to be like a funny thing that it's not. But I thought it was going to be his mum. And then when it was Gibbsy, I was like, this is so much better.
Yeah, it was absolute class.
Yeah, no, I absolutely adored Gibbsy. He was God tier character for me.
Yeah.
I did love Tig, but do you know who I loved? Ollie. He's such a shark. He was such a shark. If you give me 100 quid, I won't tell your mum that you're naked with my sister in your room. And then Shannon's like, I've got to go. And he's like, what do you mean? I've just given your brother 100 euro. And she's like, well, that's only good until he puts it in his box. And then he's shouting out. He was such a shark. I found him so funny. And the fact that he was like completely obsessed with Johnny's dad as well. I thought that was so cute. And Sean was so adorable. My Oni. It was so cute. That was adorable.
Yeah. Sean was actually, I think, do you remember when they're in the house and Johnny's like, he's all wet and like, well, who are these people? And that was the first moment that I was like, oh my God, he's gonna burn the house down. Like,
see, I never actually suspected it until it happened. I was like, oh, I thought it was just the dad drunk spilling whiskey.
Nah, but the minute he picked Sean up and he was like, he's soaking wet and stinks of booze.
Yeah.
And then when he slips at the bottom of the they all slip at the bottom of the stairs. I was
Yeah.
like, he's
Yeah,
covered.
no, I actually didn't see it coming, weirdly. So that's a good, yeah, point. But I just thought Sean was so cute. But he wasn't top 3. Like, I loved him, but he wasn't top 3. And I did also love Joey, like you did. I just wanted to protect him because that boy has been through so much. He had to grow up way before he should have. I mean, he'd basically been protecting the family since he was what, 11, 12?
Yeah. Since he was Tyke's age, remember, I think they make a comment about it.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, yeah, that boy, and like Aoife was so fiercely protective of him as well. I loved that she refused to leave his side no matter what he said. I loved that. And then like when he'd basically been catatonic in the room and Aoife came in and that was his first like sign of life, effectively, I thought I loved that. And I do really want to see how they work things out and that
Yeah.
just
And the
that whole dynamic.
backstory too, because I think the
Yeah.
backstory, she's like they were a bit of like not allowed love. What am I trying to say?
Forbidden.
Forbidden love somehow. I don't
Yeah.
know. I just read the back of the book.
Oh, right. Okay.
So yeah, I'm excited to delve into that story. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But I just think it's amazing, isn't it? Like both of us have chosen like all the side characters as our god tier elements in this book. Yeah, I love.
Completely.
They was
That's
written so well.
so well. And they were
Written
all
so
so rich. Like
yeah, and
everyone,
individual. It's difficult to get that, but
and so many of them too, like
yeah,
Freely, Husey, Gibbsy, like,
yeah.
they're in it what? Momentarily. Well, no, Gibbsy not so much, but the other guys are in it
But together,
momentarily.
yeah, like barely in it.
But you still just you feel like that friendship and the bond, and they're funny and they're individual, and like, yeah, I just loved everyone, all the side characters. I just thought they were just like so beautifully written. So yeah. All right, Sean, it's time for scores on the board. Scores on the door. Whatever.
Whatever it is. I am giving this one 4 out of 5, just because my niggles were bigger in this one than the last. And I did love it. I genuinely loved it. And I will absolutely 100% read the rest of the series. But yeah, it was a 4 for me, this one. I'm assuming you gave it higher.
I'm going 5 for this one. I just really enjoyed it, and even with the niggles, there were bits that just cancelled them out. Like, and you know, while I feel like Chloe Walsh did a really good job of closing the loop around Shannon and Joey to a degree, she's left the door open fully for the other characters, and so it makes you like you just want to kind of go, okay, cool, what's next?
Yeah.
I just yeah, I think that there's a lot of authenticity in a lot of this. There's a lot of like heart and compassion, and like it covers such massive themes,
Yeah.
and a lot of what you're left with is quite heartfelt, and like you're left thinking they're going to be okay. Like, they found their place in the world where they're going to be okay. Like even little Sean, you think like what he could have been, like how he could have turned out if he'd
Yeah.
stayed in that household, and how he's gonna turn out. Even Tig now, like in Tomin, he's a smart kid, clearly, and the opportunities he's gonna have now that he didn't have. Like you feel there feels like a bit of a like you feel like, okay, everyone's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
But I'm still really, really curious as to where Johnny and Aoife are going, what happens with Gibbsy and Claire, because that's probably the best.
Yeah.
I reckon that's the best relationship ever written, those
Yeah.
two, because they haven't even touched each other that we
Yeah.
know. And yet it's probably one of the most honest love stories I think it's even more honest, I reckon, than Shannon and Joey, because it's actually an emotion. They've started from a very emotional connection
Yeah.
place. So yeah, I'm just
And from a
excited.
young age, and yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with you. I think that's
And
going to be a really good one.
And the fact that he's just like, yeah, it's fine that we're not together now because obviously I'm going to marry her and obviously she's going to have my
Yeah.
children. And it's not even like and she never says no. Like she's not
Yeah.
sitting there going, "You're deluded. This is never
Yeah.
happening." He's almost like, "Yeah, probably that's what's going
It's
to
fair.
happen." I just love that because all I can imagine them in like 50 years' time
Yeah.
sitting in their house with their kids and grandkids and stuff, just being like, "Yeah, we've just know like this is just
Gibbsy being like, I told you. I told
yeah."
you I was gonna marry you.
So yeah, it's a 5, and to be honest with you, as an overall, I'd give it a 5, like, as the 2 books together, I just really enjoyed it,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
think the 2 books together I'd say would be a 4.5, but individually 4.5 and a 4 for me.
cool. That's it.
But no, it was good, and I'm glad that we went off piste to read these.
Yeah, same, same.
Yeah, really
I'm
glad.
really glad. And actually it was nice to, the in the beginning of the first book, I was waiting for the phase. I was
Where are the
like,
dragons
"Where's the
at?
dragons or the direwolves?" Anything.
Just any
Um,
kind of creature.
but no, it was really good, and it did remind me that sometimes you don't need that. Actually, you just need a really good story with a couple of really good characters, and it could be the one of the best books. So we're not picking a book because we've already picked it in the last one, which is of course Forbidden Alchemy. So we're back to the romantasy roots.
Yeah.
But I do have a proposition for you, Shani. I had a thought last night.
Oh,
What do you think about? So we've been doing like pick the next book, like swaps. What
yeah.
do you think that buddy reads can become a TBR only
Dun,
selection? Yeah.
dun, dun.
So we will choose from the other's Goodreads TBR each time so that it's we number one, we know the other one hasn't read it because it's on the TBR. And number two, we can maybe like start ticking some books off our TBR, just adding to them, which is what currently happens.
Pretty much. Ooh, okay. Yeah. I'm just thinking about the books that I need to add to it that I have physical copies of, but haven't actually put on my Goodreads TBR. Yeah. I'm gonna have to add my physical copies to the
Okay, well,
Goodreads TBR.
let's both spend some time in the next few days getting our TBRs up to date on anything that's potentially, like you say, you've got the physical copy, but it's
Yeah.
not there. And then I think from now on, we start ticking off our TBR list using buddy reads. And then it will be also really interesting to know why it was on there in the first place. Because I went through my TBR last night and I've got books on there and I'm like, I don't know why I put that on there, but I must have heard, someone must have said it was good for me to put it on there.
I've got so many books on there like that. I'm like, I don't even remember putting you on. Who? What book? What?
Yeah. So what was the one that came up
Yeah.
yesterday? And I was like, like Heartwood. It's like, anyway, I've put it on and it's like, takes you on a journey as a search and rescue team race against time when an experienced hiker mysteriously disappears in the Appalachian Trail. I was like, that does not sound like something, but someone at some point must have been like, it's really good.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's lots on there, like A Naked Singularity. What? Anyway, it's there.
Yeah.
So we can definitely, yeah, tick
I've
tick
got
off our
so many
TV.
books on there like that that I'm like, oh, do I need to delete some? Because do I actually want to read that still? Let's just tidy up the TBRs. See how we go.
Tidy them up, and we'll go from there. What do you think, though? Do you reckon that's a good idea?
Yeah, because if not, we're just extending,
Exactly.
adding to, adding to.
And at least we know the other one has, at some point, indicated they want to read that book, which is good. And on that bombshell, I will bid you adieu. I hope you have a lovely evening in the UK, and I shall get on with my Saturday. And thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming back and listening to the bonus
Yeah.
episode for Keeping 13. Thanks again to Chloe Walsh for doing the writing of them.
Thank you, Chloe. Thank you, Zara. Thank you, listeners.
Thank you, everyone.